Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Tonight I have my friend Mary on. She is the expertise on all things Jesus juice, aka IHercules. I started calling it Jesus juice because my sister actually, and I thought it was hilarious and makes a lot of sense because I've been joking that it tastes like what do you call it? It tastes like like really bad wine. I was like, well, Jesus turned water into wine. So there you go. This is it. This is the one that he turned into wine. We found it. But yeah, so we've got Mary on tonight, and she is very knowledgeable about Jesus juice, IHercules, and the company. How long have you been doing this for? I actually don't know.
Since September of 2021.
Okay, so she's been doing it for a pretty long time. Ava's in the house. Can you see the chat beside you, Mary, on there?
I see the chat, but I see nobody in it.
Okay, you might be on the personal one. There's a personal one, and then there's the YouTube one. But
comments, the comments one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I got it.
So Mary's going to share a little bit about her background and her testimony with the product. And then we can probably go into some question and answer. I'll be looking in the comments and saving the ones in there. So feel free to comment your question at any point, and I will save it up and we'll get to it at the end. So I'm just going to quickly say hello to the few people that are in here. Ava's in here. We've got Mary, Jenny Girl, Mark, and Tim. Tim Grindstaff is here. Funny story, you guys. Mary was actually Tim's
very first secretary.
Secretary. That's what it was, which is so funny.
He actually married me and my husband too.
Oh my gosh. You know, if I would have known Tim when I got married, I would have had him marry us too. Yeah, so it's a very interesting, small, little connected world we've got here. I had Tim on the show a few weeks back now, but so everybody knows Tim. But yay, Tim's here. Okay, I guess some people are trickling in. So if you want to get started and just kind of share how you got started with the company and this whole health journey and whatnot that you've been on.
Yeah,
I've heard some of it.
I'll be more than happy to. It started in September of 2021 with a phone call from a friend of mine who is 80 years old. Her husband is 75. And the last time I had seen her husband, he lived in Florida. They lived in Florida. We lived in South Carolina. And when we left there that spring, this is spring of 2021, I said to my husband, I said, honey, I don't think we're going to see Bob again. He was very frail. He was falling apart, literally, and in a lot of pain from an old back injury and things like that. And I had waited throughout the summer thinking that Bob was going to pass. Well, so in September the 1st, I think it was, when Ellen called me, here's what she said. Mary, take a look at this picture of Bob. I'm like, is Bob okay? Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm seeing the phone ring. I'm thinking Bob died.
Yeah.
And so when she said, just look at the picture. Well, the picture was a 10-day difference between the first picture, the before picture, and the after picture. The before picture looked like a Holocaust victim, and the after picture looked like a healthy 75-year-old man sitting up and ready to take on life. And I said, Ellen, what in God's green earth are you giving him? Now, she knew my background, health and nutrition. I'm a nutrition coach. I've been coaching others in wellness and nutrition for most of my adult life. And she said, that's just it, Mary. It's God's green earth. I said, what? She said, it's 43 herbs, all put together in a spray that you spray under your tongue. And she said, Bob has the will to live again. Bob had quit eating. Bob suddenly had the will to live again. And she said that his back wasn't hurting anymore. Now, he had a very bad fall as a young man, and so this was a very old injury. So I said, I need to explore this a little more. And I was injured in a car wreck when I was 16 years old. It was an 8-car pileup.
Wow.
And it was a miracle that I even lived through the accident. And at the time, I didn't have any broken bones, sent home with bruises. It was a miracle. But what I didn't know is my life was then set on a trajectory that would take me way over into things that mimicked arthritis, fibromyalgia, autoimmune conditions, chronic inflammation. And by the time I was 26 years old, I could no longer feel my arms when I would wake up in the morning. The nerve pain would keep me up in the night, and I had lost the curve to my neck. And I began under chiropractic care and had been under chiropractic care for so long. So when I found out what this did for Bob, and it was 43 herbs and there was nothing more added to it, that's what got my attention.
Yeah.
And so I began spraying, and 5 days into spraying this, I get up out of the bed, I lift my head up, I look down at my feet, and I have no pain in my neck. Wow. And I would get out of the bed and walk across the floor with lots of pain in the bottoms of my feet. I think probably poor circulation was what the issue was. Had my first pain-free day in 25 years on day 5 of spraying. Now, my husband had had a heart attack a year prior to finding IHercules, and he had had a stent put in. And since having the stent put in, his brain was not working right. He's 70 years old. He was 68 at the time. I could tell that he was really struggling. Couldn't remember words and such. 2 days into spraying IHercules, Liz, he wakes up out of the bed and he says to me, I hope this is not my imagination, but I feel like someone put my brain back in my head. Now, I could sit here and tell you loads and loads and loads of testimonies, because I've been doing Zoom calls and collecting testimonies on this subject of IHercules for 1.5 years now. I feel like people will have a lot of questions, and I have the answers for you. There's not a whole lot I don't know about this company. I know the owner. The owner is the son-in-law of the lead scientist who's been formulating this since 1973. They treated over 300,000 stage 3 and 4 disease patients.
Disease.
Dis-ease patients with conditions that were 3rd and 4th stage at a health clinic over in Europe where this had been being formulated. Now, let me explain to you, Liz, why this is not like me coming to your house and planting an organic garden with these 43 herbs and you picking them every day and you juicing them, or you making a tincture, or you making oils or whatever. It's not the same. We're talking something totally different, and I'll tell you why. Because they do not powder the herbs. They do not take them and make them into tinctures. They do something totally different. It's a technology that is called quantum extraction. And so they go into the nucleus of the cells of the plant. And what they've done over all of those 300,000 patients that they tested their blood to see which molecules worked best in the bloodstream and which did not, they isolated by identifying and isolating the top performing molecules only. Wow. So it's not juice per se, like with a juicer. Mm-hmm. This is extraction at a molecular level. It's plant blood into your blood, for lack of a better word, molecule to molecule. And that's what makes IHercules so different. And so before we take some questions, I want to enlighten people with a few before and after pictures so you can see what I'm talking about, the difference that IHercules makes in the body. All right, and we'll go over the ingredients. I see people asking that. That's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen real quick. And here we are. Are you seeing it?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right, give me just 1 second. All right. So my before picture was September of 2021. And people say, well, you lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really lose weight. What I lost was toxins and inflammation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you can see a little bit of progression in the 4 months. I felt like $1 million after that first 4 months. Although I will say that there is something called retracing, where the body will sort of go in reverse of the issues that you've had in the past, and you will have temporarily symptoms, signs and symptoms maybe that was from a long time ago. Like, for instance, one particular part of my body hurt really bad a few times in the first few months. And that was the area that my body was slammed around so hard in the car wreck. Okay. So these old injuries would pop up and would bother me for like a day, and then they would go away. That's called retracing. It's to be expected when the body's unwinding from going backwards and reversing trauma at a cellular level. Yeah. So then you can see month 6, and then after 1 year. And I literally will tell you that I'm getting ready to turn 54, and I feel like I'm 35 years old. Mm-hmm. I don't think like an old woman anymore. On that before picture, I felt like an old woman. My brain said to me, because my body was feeling old, I was wearing compression stockings. I had multiple hormonal issues. None of that exists in my body anymore. Yeah. I want to show you my friend Julie. Wow. Look at Julie's face. Julie had triple bypass. She was dealing with having to face, what is it called? Dialysis. She had done some dialysis. They were allowing her to come off of dialysis to see how she would do. She had a really messed up liver, as you can see when it shows in your face with those dark spots like that. Her A1C, she was a diabetic. Still, I don't even know if she's even categorized a diabetic anymore. But in 3 months, you can see the changes that were wrought in her body. And she's lost over 30 pounds because she feels good enough to actually do something about her health. Yeah. She said to me, Mary, and with tears, she said, you don't understand. Before IHercules, every night I went to bed thinking, I don't know if I'll wake up in the morning. That's how bad she felt. And now all of her numbers are in range, and she is soaring. It's amazing. That's amazing. I'm going to see real quick if I can find Bob's picture. Here we go. This is the picture that started it all for me. This before picture, and then the 10-day picture. It's a little blurry because it's been like recycled too many times from his wife's phone. But I mean, like it doesn't look the same. And then in 18 months, I just saw him again. There he is. And his hair is growing. He has an incredible appetite. He's just doing just amazing. That's awesome. So those are some of the pictures. I'll give you one more just for good measure. This is my mom. She did not believe that IHercules would have any effect on her whatsoever. It took an act of Congress to get her to try it. She finally did, and you can see she looks a lot different. Yeah. I mean, it totally does. It's just like the life is back. Like completely. Totally. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna. I don't know how to stop sharing. Uh-oh. There you go. Did it go off? Okay. I took it off. So we can take some questions and springboard into some other area. Yeah. Well, I mean, everything you're saying, I've been taking it since January, I believe. And
even what you were just saying with the inflammation, I totally was have most of my life had, I guess, what people would consider fibromyalgia. Never had it diagnosed, but like I would have like, it just hurt to touch, especially after I ate really crappy, whatever. Like things I know I shouldn't eat. I would have like, just pain when I touched my skin. And I mean, I've had this since I was like 20 at least, because my liver was so beat up, basically, I think. And I just had so much inflammation. And there are a few different products that I found over the years that I swear by and live by, and they all reduce and help you get rid of basically the inflammation. And the other one is like fascia blasting. I did that and lost like 50 inches, and I didn't lose any weight at all. I just had that much inflammation. So it's a really real thing, guys. But I also had the same thing, like from this pregnancy, I had trigger finger, and I don't anymore. My fingers are not frozen, which is very nice. I used to wake up and like I couldn't move this one specifically. So I'm also walking testament to what she just described also. But yeah, so question wise.
Oh, they wanted to see the ingredients.
Oh, yes.
It's better if I show them.
I have been, yes. What are the herbs, or what are the main herbs used?
Okay, 1 second. All right, now that you stopped me from sharing, it won't let me share again.
Oh, darn.
There we go. Got it.
Okay, there we go. That is true.
All right, let me get to the ingredients. There we go. Okay, so here's the ingredients. All things you can pronounce, praise God.
Right, that's how you know.
There are no chemicals. There's no additives. It is organic. And believe it or not, this is the coolest thing to me. They grow the herbs in an area of the isolated Mediterranean mountain ranges, top secret location, because there have been thieves to try to steal, their formulary and everything. So it's about 50 miles from all industry. Like they don't even allow airplanes to fly over this area. So it's very protected. So we know it's pure.
Wow.
And the last ingredient, a lot of people say, well, why is food grade ethanol in there? Because a lot of people ask me that. Well, food grade ethanol is the only thing that they could, in the list of allowable things you can say on an ingredient list, there were 3 herbs that had to be fermented to extract the master molecules. And so that's like the fermentation process causes that. So they had to they couldn't just say natural fermented stuff. They had to say food grade ethanol.
Yeah. Like kombucha.
Yeah. Just like kombucha. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Ava is asking, are the results / pain-freeness permanent?
They're permanent if you keep putting it in your body, because your body you live in toxic soup. And so you must continually give your body, you understand frequencies, right? So you have to continually give your body what it can use to resonate at the right frequency to stay well.
Yes.
And so what a frequency or a PMF, that's what it's called, right? A PMF type device might do for you outside, this is doing on the inside. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, even if we had amazing food and whatnot, I mean, think of what they're spraying in the sky, So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, and it occurred to me the other day, it was so interesting. Do you remember? Well, you might not remember because you're young, but a long time ago, they didn't put microwaves above where you stand to cook.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I turn the microwave on and I'm standing here cooking, it occurs to me, microwaves to the brain right here.
And even down to the food you're cooking down here.
Even if it was on the counter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
So it's not a whole lot we can do about our modern technology except
Yeah.
combat it with the technology that we know is helping. And this is
Yeah.
one of those.
You just be like me and just get rid of your microwave.
Yes,
I just
exactly. Well,
refuse to have one in my house.
well, the thing is I bought a house that had been totally gutted and remodeled, and
Oh,
they thought they were doing me a favor by sticking that
yeah.
thing in there. But I found the house, I didn't have a say so, and so
Yeah.
now I'm like, do I really need to rip it out? My kids
Yeah.
would be like, "Mom, where's the microwave?" They don't live with me anymore, but
I had some friends that just used it as like their bread storage. They just keep their fresh loaves of bread in it, like never turned it on, just unplugged it, kept their bread in it, and that was it. I was like,
that's a good way to
idea.
do it.
Pretty good idea.
You said Ava said something about detoxing regularly, and that's exactly right. You have to realize that we're in a hostile environment, right? But the greatest thing about iHercules is that it's premium nutrition that your body knows what to do with. Because here's what happens, Liz. Your body is made, God made your body so intricate that the vascular system is designed to close up in the presence of toxins.
Oh.
So when your body is pumping in all of the toxins, your vascular system responds with a hyper-inflammatory response.
Yeah.
But what happens when you give it pure food it can use, it says, and all the cells open up and to receive it. And get this, the life of a red blood cell is 120 days. Okay. So if you spray this in what's called a loading dose, a loading phase, where you spray 6 to 10 times twice a day in a 2 to 4 month period of time, you will have influenced your entire population of red blood cells, who will be then carrying these nutrients to all of the organs and tissues and cells in your body.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
That is super cool. That explains the loading phase a lot better to me now.
You're like, why do I have to do this all the time?
Yeah. It's like, why do I have to do this all the time? Why do I need so much of it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an immersion. So your cells get immersed, and then the red blood cells can influence the rest of the body.
Yeah. And even what you were saying earlier about your specific area that hurt a lot with the retracing. That makes me think, because I actually am having the same thing. My feet, I wake up every single day and my feet hurt. Like I'm like hobbling. I'm like, what is this? Why can my feet never feel better? And I thought it was maybe just because, I mean, I do carry my baby around all the time. I wear my baby all the time, but I was just like, I just don't feel like they should hurt this much like this. And at one point it was even this burning sensation on the top of my foot. But I've been a dancer my whole life, and ballroom danced, pregnant with my firstborn, and I know that put a huge toll on my feet. Ava's thinking that too, because I tell her about all my ailments. But that is interesting. I'm wondering if that's the case, because they are starting to feel a little bit better. But
yeah, and it can take time. I mean, your blood system will begin to be cleansed and fortified and nourished with iHercules, but we didn't get the way we are, in 3 months.
Yeah.
We got the way we are through a lifetime of factors. And it's interesting because a lot of people say to me, well, I do a lot of cleanses, and is this the same as a cleanse? Well, yes and no, because it will continually and keep on cleansing. You will notice the what they call a healing crisis, what I call retracing, just because of the research I've done in the first few months, just because it's such a new introduction to your body of the right stuff. The lady Julie that you saw on that said she got her life back and she wasn't afraid she was going to die anymore. She called me one day after she had been taking the product for, I don't know, a couple of months, and she said, I said, how you feeling? She's like, some days not so good and not really sure, if this is working. I said, oh, honey, it's working. Trust me. Told her about retracing. And here's what she said. She said, this is really strange. When I was 8 years old, I fell out of a wagon and got a big gash on my ankle. Had a big, huge scar there for many years and a lot of pain at the time that I had the accident. The scar had gone away as I aged. But when I started taking IHercules, that dang thing showed back up again.
Oh, wow.
The scar, the discoloration where she had gashed it, came back. And she said, my ankle has been hurting. And so I said, well, keep me posted on how that goes. 2 days later, she called and she said, it's gone. Not bothering me a bit. It's completely gone. But isn't that something?
Yeah.
From an 8-year-old, the thing shows up.
It's like digging in and then bringing it up and releasing it.
Yeah, because one of the ways that we explain retracing is when a disease or an effect of a disease that has been in your body all of your life, as the cells have been replicating after themselves all these years, that when it begins to get driven out, it kisses you goodbye on its way out. It lets you know I'm leaving.
Thanks. Well, thanks.
Isn't that nice?
Oh my gosh. That's funny. I'm going to highlight this, what Tim said. I don't know if they are permanent, meaning the effects. I only know that I felt more normal than I had for a long time. It helped my mental health in such a way that I'm doing more physically than I had for years. I can also attest to that because last time I saw Tim, I was like, Tim has a pep in his step. I can see it. Totally see it. And it's funny too, because his son has been essentially like prophesying that like his generation is going to catch their second wind. And he said that the last time we were there. He was like, I feel like I got my second wind. And it's
absolutely 100%.
Partially probably to do with this stuff, if not mostly.
Let me ask Tim. Tim, are you also taking the iAccelerate? And I'll share with you guys what that is.
Oh, yeah. Even Mary asked, are there more than one type of Jesus juice?
Just this is one and only, baby.
They do have other products, though, which is what she's going to get into.
Yeah. So, Tim, are you taking iAccelerate? Did Catherine get any of that for you?
I still have not done it yet, but I would like to.
Okay, so let me explain, Lucy. 1 second. Okay.
Tim's just taking the juice. Just the juice.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah? Okay. So there's the iHercules, iAccelerate. What is that? It's a metabolism booster. It's fabulous in conjunction with iHercules. In other words, it'll take the effects that Tim is talking about having with iHercules to a whole nother level because it does have guarana in it. It's non-jittery energy. It brings such a mental clarity. In fact, when my husband and I began taking it, all I can say is that we suddenly, here's my husband, we suddenly felt like our brain was working like we were 20 or 30 years old. And, to y'all who is young, that might not mean a whole lot. But to him who is 70, it means everything.
I mean, quite honestly, I sometimes feel like I'm 70 having 2 very small children and lack of sleep, but
yeah. And so when you get the iAccelerate, I really think it's going to help you. What happens with this, guys? Let me tell you how they discovered this. This is a green tea extract with guarana and resveratrol. The cancer researchers, the guy that created the product was a cancer researcher, and he was on several research panels that they were trying to solve how to get the body, when you've had cancer, to gain lean muscle mass, because people have a very difficult time who've had cancer getting back their lean muscle mass, especially if they take all those crazy quote unquote treatments. Anyway, so they found that the components in this iAccelerate would cause your body to turn its food into fuel instead of fat. So big time help for your metabolism. And then there's also, I think somebody was talking about, they've got some really bad scars they want to deal with. This is the answer. Because what IHercules does for the inside of your body, iRevive does for the outside. You see, I'm talking about stem cell rejuvenation. That's what happens when you apply iRevive topically and you take IHercules, because as the old dysfunctional cells get kicked to the curb, what you will have is you will then have your body's own stem cells, which have kind of been inactive. The more toxins you take in your body, the stem cells don't really have the opportunity to do any rejuvenation because the body's just trying to navigate toxic.
Right.
So when you begin to do this and the old dysfunctional cells start getting pushed out through all of your excretory organs, well, guess what? Your stem cells go, oh, hold on a minute. We have a job to do. Let's fill in and let's make new cells, because stem cells make every other cell. Your eye cells are made from stem cells, your lung cells, your liver cells, all made from stem cells. So this will cause...
Sorry, I just thought it was funny.
This will cause your stem cells to stand at attention and do their job, which is why it reverses your biological age by up to 20 years. That's 20 amazing. Years. That's
so
amazing.
I'm 8 years old, guys.
I mean, that's how you can see the before and after pictures changing people. That's how you know it's working.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tim's really funny.
You go a long way from being a flight attendant.
He was never on one of my flights. He was just my pastor.
Pastor.
He did my pastor.
Even Ava said earlier that after a few days she could tell that my face was like slimming out, the inflammation in my face. I actually could too. I was like, my face, like I would like look at myself in the camera and I was like, what just happened? Like, it's that I've heard you guys talk about it before, that glow.
Yeah, it's called the IHercules glow. And it's a real thing cellularly. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Okay. I'm just a mouthpiece for stuff I like. But they say that, cells are supposed to have an electric charge. Yeah. And they do. And the mitochondria are supposed to be what cause that. Instead of it being muted, the mitochondria, when they're healthy, they cause the cell to glow. Well, so when your cells are healthy, you should have a glow.
My goodness, that sends my conspiracy brain into a whole lot of different directions.
Well, have fun with that one.
A whole lot of directions. I'm going to have to marinate on that for a minute. Would the Jesus Juice IHercules be beneficial for the jabbed?
It absolutely is very beneficial for the jabbed. I had a girl, this was a really cool testimony, right when the jab first came out. I had one of my people that was one of my customers. She had a neighbor who had gone and gotten his, and the wife didn't do so well, but the husband did worse, and he started turning gray. Looked like he was gonna.
Oh my goodness.
Older couple. So my friend Leah went over there and she said, listen, you may or may not want to do this, but I recommend that you do this and you do it quickly. She started spraying, and in 48 hours, she called me. She said his color came back almost immediately.
Wow.
And he feels completely different. And he says he'll never do that again.
Thank God.
Take another one.
Oh my gosh.
They were sold. It was just too obvious. He got his life back.
That's amazing.
His little glow was starting to dim real fast.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I think it's possible to reverse these things. Now, I can't say to what extent. Like I said, I'm not none of that expertise, but it just makes sense if it's going to cleanse the body at a blood cellular level. What's not possible? What is possible? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, there's so much that I think that we could do to help those that might regret that decision in the future, if not already do. It's sad. Let me see. Mary wants to know, does it come as a set?
Yeah. So let me think what the best way is to show you, because you really, if you're going to use iHercules and really experience its benefits, you need to do a loading package. You've got to get enough in you to move the needle in those first 2 to 4 months. So I'm trying to think, there's lots of packages to show you. So essentially, let me just go back to my presentation. It's a good thing I had all this together, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so back on the slideshow. Get over here. All right, so essentially, if you were going to do a loading phase, which everybody should, you're going to be spraying 6 to 10 sprays twice daily. You can, or you don't have to include the iAccelerate, your choice. I recommend it, but the 2X pack is the way to get the loading dose in you, and you have a choice of how you want it to be built. So most people get that pack that has like 1 iAccelerate and 1 iRevive, so they can try all of them. Those 9 bottles that are in that pack are meant to take you to about the end of the second month, because after that, 1 bottle a month comes to your home for your maintenance, so that you can keep spraying at a maintenance dose of 4 pumps once a day. Okay. So that's the pack that most people choose, is that one with 1 each. If they don't want the iAccelerate, they'll get the one that has the 2 iRevive for the skin. Now that pack costs $598. There is a lesser pack, but it only has 4 bottles of iHercules in it for $299. But either one of those will at least get you headed in the right direction, right? Even if you take the lesser priced pack. One of the things that I did a little research on was I wanted to see how much money have I spent, right? I bought a 598 pack when I started, and then 1 bottle a month has been coming to my house every month since then. Well, at the end of 1 year, I had only invested $4 a day into my health. And I thought that was pretty phenomenal, because, how fast, or how many people go out and buy, I don't, but how many people go out and buy a fancy coffee every day? But what I do is, that's why I put the picture to clothing there, because, from time to time I'll go to the thrift store and I'll bust, $30. I'll just spend, it's kind of like my retail therapy. Admittedly, I don't eat junk food and I don't do my nails, but I do thrift store shop. So I thought, what do I spend money on that would represent, my investment in my health? And those were just some of the things that I came up with. But that's your choice. You can get a smaller loading phase package for $299, or the larger one, which is a better deal, for $598. And then 1 bottle a month to your house is $79. That's before shipping and tax. So it's really going to be a $90 investment a month. But like I said, over a year's time, $4 a day sounds pretty good.
Yeah. She spends about $130 each time she goes.
You have got to be joking.
Twice a month.
Like, I've never gotten my nails done in my life. I'm just too practical.
I can see that about you. Good night, Tim. Good night.
Tim.
Have fun at work tomorrow. 5 a.m.
Yeah, he gets up early.
Yeah. I definitely only do my nails as a treat. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yes, Ava's very bougie, is how she calls it.
Well, she is a beautiful girl, I have to say.
True, it's true.
I've
Yes,
seen her on your show.
yeah. She's very interested in the IHercules stuff. She's gonna be doing it soon. But anyways, let me see if I had any more questions marked out here. Just comments, really.
Yeah. So people probably want to know. Oh, Tim said he had a sore in his mouth. Yeah, that I'm telling you, it'll quickly heal. Before we got the iRevive is a new product. All we have is iHercules forever and a day. People will. I mean, I told a girl the other day who had severe allergies, said I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I said, take the iHercules, spray it up your nose. She called me back. She's like, all my symptoms disappeared.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So we've been spraying this topically all over everything forever. But you know, one of the biggest testimonies I get, you're going to laugh at this. The most common thing that people testify that went away for them is toenail fungus. And that's not by spraying it on the toe, although people do. But people, when you spray it in your mouth, it gets rid of the fungus in your blood.
Oh, that makes so this makes me think that it is very anti-parasitic.
Oh, it is. It is.
Because, I mean, I've gone down the rabbit hole of parasites for the last couple of years. And after doing a heavy metal detox, parasite cleanse, my whole world changed. I ended up actually having a miscarriage, and then I got pregnant 4 months later after doing a parasite and heavy metal detox. Even just symptom wise with period symptoms and whatnot, I had none, absolutely none. It was 3 days long. That's it.
Wow.
And I got pregnant super quick afterwards.
Wow.
And I was like, this is how it's supposed to be? What in the world? There's just so much that's hidden from us and not told about our bodies and how to take care of them. And, our food is pretty much just like anything they can do to keep a parasite alive in our body.
You're right about that. Yeah, you're totally right about that.
Sugar.
And speaking of sugar, this is one of my favorite subjects, but sugar, I had a man who contacted me and he said, Mary, I'm in desperate need to do something about my blood sugar. I'm going to lose my job. He was a truck driver.
Oh, wow.
And he had a severe addiction to sugar and was diabetic, sort of not like newly diabetic, still trying to control it without the drugs and all that and the medicines. But he was going to lose his job. And so he called me and said, what do you think I should do? I said, well, of course you need to use iHercules. And so he called me back and his A1C had dropped so much that they let him have his job back. Wow. And another diabetic man called me one day after taking iHercules, and he was addicted to milkshakes prior to getting on iHercules. He would stop every afternoon for a milkshake, and he was wasting away diabetically. He was really killing himself. I could see it. And he called me and he said, what in the world have you done to me? I said, what are you talking about? And he said, this milkshake tastes terrible. I can't believe it. You've changed my taste buds. I said, no, your body's getting nutrition. Yeah. And now the body doesn't want the garbage. So give it what it needs and spray some more iHercules.
Make a song about it.
Oh, we do have a song on our Zoom calls. Yeah. It goes like this. Change your blood behavior with plants from the Creator. Change your blood behavior with plants from the Creator. And stay free from drugs and free from disease. Just spray iHercules.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. That was beautiful. You have a good voice too.
Oh, thanks.
That's so funny.
Oh, my mercy.
Yeah, I've been amazed by the results that I've seen just because I did the smaller package. I kind of wish I would have done the bigger one. But I did the smaller package and I've just been doing the once a month, maintenance thing. But everybody loves the jingle.
Oh yeah. I didn't write it. I can't take credit for it. A friend of mine did.
Yeah, I've seen, I've been just amazed at the energy that I have.
Mhm.
I never in my life have woken up with energy. I've always been the groggy, like it takes me an hour or two to get out of bed and to actually like be able to think properly. I mean, even like going to school, like when I was younger, it was like that. Um, I I just attest it to like I did not do anything to support my body in any way until I was like 19 years old. And I attest
And
it
most of
to
us don't, Liz, you
yeah,
know?
I attest it to my liver being so backed up with chemicals and my body just not being able to function properly because it was just like combating the inflammation and disease and all that for so long. So it was like, it was just like working so hard because I was not helping it. So I just never had any energy. But then now, even having a newborn, basically, I mean, he's a little over 3 months now, and a toddler, I actually like wake up in the morning and I feel fully awake within 5 minutes. Like it's amazing. I don't even have to have caffeine. I sometimes forget to drink caffeine, like because I'll drink matcha,
Yeah.
and I sometimes am like, oh, I didn't even have that today. I felt
Yeah,
okay.
I birthed 5 babies and raised them all, and I'd have done
Yeah.
anything to have iHercules back then.
Yeah, seriously. And then on top of it, because I'm breastfeeding, I'm pretty sure my child is getting it. He rolled over from back to front for the first time yesterday, and he is 3.5 months old.
Oh, my mercy.
3.5 months. They don't do that till they're like 6 months
No.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like on his stomach, holding his head up, neck up, and rolling from his tummy to his back at 3 weeks old. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's affecting him and getting into his bloodstream and
It's safe for all ages. Like you could literally spray it in his mouth. It wouldn't hurt him a bit.
Yeah.
You can even give it to pets, guys.
Wow.
There are people whose pet was dying, sent home to die from the
Wow.
vet.
Oh wow.
And they give it to their pet, spray it on their food, in their water, and the pet comes back to life. I mean, just amazing what can happen with the pets.
That's really good to know. I was wondering if I've thought about giving it to my toddler
Oh yeah.
but I'm also like, does my toddler need more energy at this point? I don't.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, like, I mean, your kids aren't in daycare, praise God, so you don't have to worry about that. But if, say for instance, your toddler started getting a runny nose or whatever, just know confidently that you can, it's safe for ages 0 to 99. I mean, the website clearly shows that and attest to that.
Yeah.
One of the ways that they know that it reverses biological age, and like I said, when you're in your 30s and 40s, you're not much concerned about that. But any of you have grandparents, parents that could benefit from this, you really want to make sure they know about it, because what they did is they took blood samples of 1,500 people. They sent them to a third-party lab in California called TeloYears. Now, TeloYears lab measures the telomeres on your DNA. Now, a telomere is the end cap of your DNA. It's like the shoelace at the end of, or the little plastic thing at the end of the shoelace. Yeah, exactly. It's that little thing. And what happens is as you age, it sort of burns down like a candle. So the older cells have shorter telomeres and the newer, fresher cells have longer telomeres. So people on iHercules for 5 years, they sent 1,500 blood samples to the TeloYears lab. And the TeloYears lab gave them back the samples and said every single person experienced age reversal. In other words, their chronological age was older than their cellular biological age. The average age reversal was 15 years and the biggest was 25.
Wow.
So that explains why me at 53, when I started this product, I was 51, but I felt 80.
Yeah.
I'm 53, getting ready to turn 54 in a month, and I feel 35 because I got new, fresh, healthy cells.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And inflammation is the underlying cause of all age-related illnesses. It's documented everywhere, National Health Institute, all that. Chronic inflammation is the cause of your aging.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I feel like because of the other thing I told you about, the fascia blasting, the tool, I haven't done it in a long time, and I could just feel my body aging. I mean, this was before I started taking the IHercules stuff, but like through pregnancy and whatnot, like you're not really supposed to do it that intensely if you haven't been doing it. Like your detox pathways are not open, and like you don't want to flush any toxins into the baby, you know?
Right.
So I hadn't been doing it. So I didn't start doing it again while I was pregnant. And I was just like, I just feel my body, like I literally feel like I'm aging. And that's why when Catherine, Tim's wife, told me about IHercules, I was like, yes, I need to do something. Like and I really trust her opinion, and her she researches everything in asked all the right questions.
Yeah, she does. She's very thorough,
Mhm.
very thorough.
Yep.
I appreciate that about her. And I was going to say maybe one of your talented viewers that are always with you can make a new jingle called Jesus Juice Jingle.
There we go. I mean, I do write songs. I could try.
Okay. Okay. Go, Liz.
I have in the past, that's for sure. Yeah, that would be funny. I should make a Jesus juice and do any more videos I do on this. I'll do it at the beginning, the little interlude.
Yeah, do a jingle on. I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
I'll do it with my ukulele.
We could do Jesus Juice Chronicles or something, and have people come on and share their testimonies.
Oh yeah, no, I think that would be great. Actually, I mean, I think I like telling people about this product, and any product that I ever do try, no matter if I, get commission off it or not, I will tell it like I do get commission. I'm like, no, you need this product because it changes your life. Seriously. But yeah, everybody's on board with the Jesus Juice jingle. They know that I like to sing on my shows quite a lot.
That's so good. I love it. I can't wait to see what you do.
Oh man, now the pressure's on.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Mary. I think we should do this again, and maybe people will have more questions after watching the playback of this. So if Mary has a website that's in the description box below, if you want to get in touch with her or see any of her stuff. And
I didn't even tell everybody I'm a functional nutrition counselor, and my website is maryhartnutrition.com. And so you can, that doesn't have anything about IHercules on it because that's separate. IHercules, I use the affiliate website that they give for that. And, but if you want to get IHercules, you should contact Liz.
Yes, I will. I will put it in there. I will send it to you, which actually you've bought it from me before. This is like Mary. Her name is Mary also. Oh. She's tried it before. Or she has it. I mean, what am I saying? Goodness, I'm tired.
Yeah, and Liz is not has not talked about the commission part of what the New Extracts is, the company that makes this. She's not talked about that, but I will say this, and I can answer questions about this later off the show because I don't like to make it about that. But I want to say that I've never been associated with any company that puts more compassion in their compensation. And by that, I mean 71% of this company's incoming profits go back out into the field. 71%.
That's really good.
That's crazy lot. That's more than anybody in the network marketing industry. I believe in network marketing because I believe that we share what we love.
Yeah.
And I think it's very valid. And so, yeah, just any questions you got about the business side, Liz, not Ava, Liz can give me a call and I can help you with that.
Yeah. I wanted to have Mary on specifically for that because, not just for that, but all of this because she's very knowledgeable and I I will text her lots of questions, like randomly. I'm like, what about this? I'm like, what
Yeah,
this?
I love the questions.
Because she's very much on, like she's on our wavelength, on our vibe. I'd say, in the whole awakening of things, and and especially in the health area, and yeah. So,
And there's so many people, Liz, that are hungry for this type of information and that are looking for these types of solutions. I mean, a whole movement of people are looking for the answer. My husband had said, but prior to finding IHercules, Mary, I know there has to be something in the earth that God created that is plants, that's a synergistic blend of some sort of plants that will bring health to humanity. And like, hello.
There he is. He's drawing it to himself right there. He's like, I know it's there.
So thankful.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. Well, we're definitely going to have you back on. And even if it's for testimonial videos or more questions or whatever, because I think this was very beneficial, because I've been kind of telling people about it, but not in this detail. So again, thank you. And everybody seemed to love it. So we will see you guys on the next one. And if you have any further questions, you can go ahead and put them in the comments. And, if we end up doing another video, or if I just end up answering them by asking her or sharing what I know, we'll get them answered one way or another. But yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.